It's been a while, but welcome back to another CAT3 Nasty, and this time it's the eternal evil of Asia. Eternal evil. That's the title. Evil that is eternal. Hot title, which means it has a lot to live up to. Does it? Let's check out this 1995 CAT3 Nasty here on the Arty Dans. Let's see how eternally evil this movie is by checking out what the story is about. Four men travel to Thailand and bump into a witch, Lai Mi, and his hot sister. The sister falls for one of the guys and wants her brother, the witch, to create a love enchantment. He does, but the guy's three friends end up being cursed by the enchantment instead and rush to her house to have group sex with her. Once she's woken up from her enchantment, not sure why she was enchanted as well, she attacks the guys who then accidentally kill her and then escape back to Hong Kong. Her brother tracks the men in Hong Kong and starts to use enchantments on them, slowly killing them one by one until he gets to the guy who his sister fell in love with. That guy has a girlfriend who is a hairdresser. She has a client who also practices black magic and using the girlfriend as bait. Because the brother falls for her and decides he wants to have sex with her as a punishment for his dead sister, the brother and his enchantments are destroyed in an amazing final scene involving an invisible man having sex with a woman. Priceless. Honestly, I really enjoyed this film and viewers of my channel would definitely love this movie as well. Does it highlight an Asian eternal evil? I'm not sure about that. While black magic seems to be very pervasive in Asia, I'm not too sure it could be classed as an eternal evil unless someone curses you and your entire bloodline until it dies out. Surely there are much worse evils, such as communism, the treatment of women in Southeast Asian countries, animal rights and abuse, and of course, the atrocities of wars, both world wars and civil ones. Surely they are more eternally evil. Hyperbolic name aside, and a great name for marketing purposes, right? It got me interested. The movie is quite well made, some fantastic camera work, great special effects, with the only dodgy looking one being the dickhead, and some very solid acting. What feels like it should be a low budget B-grade movie actually doesn't feel like that at all. The structure of the movie is different to how I described it. The movie actually follows May, the hairdresser. This gets confusing as there are two Mays in the movie. May has a client who is a witch and she's the one who discovers there's a ghost following her. This leads May to have a discussion with her boyfriend about what happened in Thailand after an incident where they try to have sex one night but he can't get an erection. This is quite a funny scene, as no doubt the actor wanted to pack real wood during the scene but had to act like he couldn't get it up. Well, I suppose that's why they call it acting, huh? The movie has a massive tone shift in the middle when the surviving men retell the story of what happened in Thailand. And trust me, they retell everything, rather than just cutting straight to the incident that caused this whole kerfuffle in the first place. For a CAT3 movie, the violence is on the high end, which is one of the things you want. The opening scene where a father, under the influence of an enchantment, butchers his whole family and his neighbours and then jumps out the window is nice and gory and a great way to start the film if that's the kind of content you're looking for. You don't get too many more scenes like this for the rest of the film though, except for the scene where the guy eats his own fingers and ends up devouring the flesh on his left arm to the point where there's just bones left. That's both disgusting and hilarious. The other CAT3 staple, sex, is also here, but you have to wait for the second half of the film for that. And then I think you're generously rewarded for your patience. First up, Guan Chin, who plays Lai Mi's sister. A fabulous scene involving her in all her glory and three men, which lasts for minutes longer than it probably needed to, would have been enough for most people. But to top it off, the main actress Ellen Chan gets to derobe a few times. Firstly, in a short but glorious shower scene, and then in a hilarious sex scene at the end of the film where her and an invisible Lami are flying through the air, thrusting and moaning at each other. I say it's hilarious because she still has her underwear on, so I don't quite understand how this is a sex scene. There really is some great stuff in this film that makes it a film to watch. The story is easy enough to follow that you won't get lost, even though it tries its hardest to confuse you with the back and forth of the timeline, but there are great scenes like where the guy who's been turned into a dickhead pisses himself, and the scene of the hairdressers having a dirty and frank discussion about sex that reminds the male audience that women get horny too, and they talk about this stuff with each other as well. Lots of memorable scenes from a memorable movie. The movie is super campy, and that's okay, because that's what CAT3 is about. The women are gorgeous, the subtitles are hilarious, and the effects are good enough that it's so easy to get immersed in the movie and enjoy the short running time. Should you watch it? Hell yes! One of the more entertaining CAT3 movies you will ever see, regardless of the rather exaggerated title. If you have seen it, what did you think of it? Thank you for watching this video. Please press the like button if you enjoyed it and consider subscribing.